Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council to order for February 15th, 2018 at 8 p.m. On roll call, council members Ballestieri.
Here.
Churdo.
Here.
Dombrowski. Here. Giandomenico.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Golubek.
Here.
Mayor Catamagna.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Can everyone please rise for the prayer and flag salute? O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keener sense of justice, a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring you peace and happiness to our community. Amen. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires that commencement of every meeting, a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual meeting notice in the Record and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such a notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 5th, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision Channel 77 on Tuesdays at 12 p.m., on Thursdays 9 a.m., and on Fridays 8 a.m. The video is also available on the Borough website at www.elmwoodparknj.us. Thank you.
Mayor, at this time, we'll move on to the approval of minutes for the January 4th, 2018 reorganization meeting, January 11th, 2018 work session, January 11th, 2018 executive session, January 18th, 2018 regular meeting minutes, January 18th, 2018 executive session, February 1st, 2018 work session. I'm going to skip February 1st, 2018 because I believe there's a desire to table those minutes, and February 8th, 2018. So Mayor will take a motion for all with the exception of February 1st, 2018 executive session minutes as listed.
May I have a motion to approve
Can
the
I ask for
minutes?
discussion?
I think we need a motion first.
Alright.
So moved.
Second.
Dombrowski
All right,
and
do you have
Pellegrini.
any?
I just had a question actually to our clerk for the January 11th meetings when it came to the work session summarization.
Yes.
I know that after our executive session, we went back to open session, after which on January 12th, I sent an email to the mayor copying yourself on it, voicing my concerns about some of the baseless accusations. So my concern to the minutes is that I believe that the discussion is vaguely summarized, and I just wanted to get clarification as to why.
Minutes are required to summarize the actions taken, not necessarily the specific discussion that occurs between council members at a meeting. And during that portion of the meeting, there was no action formally taken, so I summarized those in the best way that I felt appropriate.
All right, thank you.
Okay, call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Ballestieri?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Giandomenico?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, I believe one of the council members desires to table February 1st, 2018 executive session minutes.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a motion to my colleagues on the February 1st executive minutes. There's some language I'd like to discuss with the council in March. I don't think it's a pertinent matter to pass, so I'll just ask that we table that, the executive minutes from the 1st of February.
I'll call for motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
On roll call to table, Ballestieri?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Giandomenico?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, tonight we have two ordinances on first reading. Resolution R70-18, introduce ordinance 18-02 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Traffic be passed and adopted on first reading. Be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, March 15th, 2018 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in the legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance 18-02?
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll, please.
Mayor, through you, just in summary, this is a resolution, ordinance that will correct snow parking on Gall Avenue, where as it currently stands, there is not parking on either side of the street. This will correct that situation.
Okay.
On roll call, council members Ballestieri?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Domenico?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Second ordinance tonight on first reading is Resolution 71-18, introduce ordinance 1803 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 2 thereof, entitled Administration, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, March 15th, 2018 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing is required by law.
May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance 18-03?
So moved.
Second?
Mayor, through you, this is a change to the table of organization in the police department, which was brought to the council, thoroughly discussed, and recommended by Chief Foligno.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Ballestieri?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Domenico?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 72-18, payment of bills, R73-18, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 74-18, refund towing application for the 2018 applicants, Resolution 75-18, approve handicap parking space for Donor Ave, Resolution 76-18, a resolution increasing part-time hours in the building department for Nicholas Fedorsen. Resolution 77-18, approved purchase of a 2018 Ford F-250 for the Department of Public Works. Resolution 78-18, authorize a salary adjustment due to an educational stipend. Resolution 79-18, authorize agreement for services relative to the 2016 financial statements for LoSAP. Resolution 80-18, resolution supporting A 1627 to clarify volunteer positions do not impact retirement benefits for public employees. Resolution 81-18, resolution approving the Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program for the fourth quarter compensation. Resolution 82-18, authorized payment associated with emergency water main repairs. Resolution 83-18, authorized refund for tax overpayments due to tax appeal 17 Grove Street. Resolution 84-18, appoint alternate prosecutor Andrew M. Simaluka Esquire. Resolution 85-18, appoint licensed site remediation professional Excel Environmental. Resolution 86-18, a resolution for execution of a settlement agreement for the Fair Share Housing Center. Resolution 87-18, authorize the execution of the 2018 professional agreements. Resolution 88-18, a resolution approving the utilization of the meeting room for the Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Resolution 89-18, a resolution to accept the consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll.
Keith, before we roll call, can we pull R8118 with the stipend, as I could possibly benefit from that one, which I don't, but I could.
Okay, so we will we'll do council members Giandomenico and Dombrowski amend their
Yes.
So moved.
motion to
Yeah.
eliminate R81-18.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Mayor, we'll take a roll call on the consent agenda absent 81-18.
Okay.
On roll call,
Call
Ballestieri?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Giandomenico?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Golubek?
Yes.
Okay, and Mayor, we can take a separate motion on 81-18, if you'll bear with me 1 second. Resolution 81-18 is a resolution approving the Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program for the fourth quarter compensation. Whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey have adopted Ordinance 16-21 implementing a stipend program for the Elmwood Park Volunteer Fire Department on November 10, 2016. And whereas the Fire Chief has reviewed and has forwarded a certified list to the Mayor and Council who have met the minimum requirements to receive such funds, and whereas a certified list containing the names of recipients are attached to this resolution, in which the auditors have recommended in that the audit, that this list be available for review in the form of a resolution. Therefore, be it resolved by the Chief Financial Officer of the Borough of Elmwood Park has certified the funds are available totaling $19,004.00 for the Volunteer Fire Department, and that the Mayor and Council hereby authorize the payments of said stipends.
Okay, you call for a,
So
for a
moved.
motion?
Second.
Call the roll?
On roll call, Councilmembers Ballasteri,
Yes.
Churdo,
I recuse my vote.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Jim Domenico,
Yes.
Pellegrini,
Yes.
Golbeck.
Yes.
Motion carries. And Mayor, this evening, under the departmental reports, we have the Library Board minutes for November 20th and December 18th, Municipal Court report for December and January, Recreation Department report for December, Recreation Advisory Board minutes for November 27th, Police Department report for December, Annual 2017 report, and the January monthly report, Finance Department for December and January, Department of Public Works for mid-December through January 16th, 2018, and the Millennium Strategies report for December of 17.
Can I have a motion to accept the department reports? Motion.
Second.
Okay, call the roll? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Mayor, that concludes my portion of the agenda.
Thank you. All right, who else, who wants to start? Council?
Mr. Cherna?
I don't call anyone, I don't want any problem.
Mine's short and sweet. Next homeowners association meeting is the 28th of February in the senior center building at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone else?
Yes, sir, Mayor,
Morsky?
thank you. This past Monday, I had the opportunity to meet with our fire chiefs for their monthly meeting. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the captains for being sworn in again at their annual beefsteak. As of this date, today being February 15th, our fire department has answered 85 calls, which is an awful lot. We're way ahead of last year. They're being called out for, obviously, when we had the cold weather, there was a lot of issues where they call it runaway boilers. Unfortunately, as I keep saying, a lot of false alarms, for instance, people not making sure that their batteries in their detectors are good and they're going off, so the fire department's being called out at all times in the morning. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it again, please make sure that your batteries are changed in your detectors. It is very important because it's not only important for your life, but it's also important for everyone else's life. So please, make sure you do that. Mayor, we actually have a few firefighters that are going to be celebrating 50 years of active service this year, and I'd like to recommend maybe we bring those members in for a special ceremony here at the mayor and council meetings. The fire department is doing many cross-training drills, whereas Company 4 will work with Company 1, and so on and so forth. This way, all the firefighters know all the apparatuses and not just their own truck or engine. It's very good that way because, of course, you know, in the times of the daytime calls, sometimes Company 2 is called out for a rescue for an extrication of a car, and, Company 1 does the extrication, and other members can then show up because they know the apparatus. So I applaud the fire department for taking that action. Also, on February 24th, they will be doing their department drills. In the month of March, they will be doing their basic. It's a basic bleeding control class where if they come on a scene and somebody has got an open wound, that they know how to handle it. It's because EMS is not allowed in the building. They're also doing CPR courses, and believe it or not, this was discussed on Monday. They're actually going to be working with our Elmwood Park Police Department and Bergen County Fire and Bergen County Police for an active shooter situation, because this was planned before what has happened yesterday. because it is very important that all emergency services know how to react in a case as unfortunate as that has happened down in Parkland, Florida. So I applaud our volunteers. And lastly, the one thing that came across at the meeting is that Patterson is calling Elmo Park volunteer firefighters for many mutual aid calls. Now, Patterson is a paid service, and we are there to help them in any which way that we can. But ladies and gentlemen, again, I stress to you, Elmo Park is a 100% volunteer service. Please support them. When you see them doing their boot drives on the corners, please support them for that. They go over and above for the community and for your safety. So I ask you once again to please, support them when you see them. And then again, I would just like to say that, my heart goes out to the families of the victims as well as the survivors of the school shooting in Florida. And I pray that that day never comes anywhere near here. But I think that Elmo Park is prepared. The Board of Ed has done a great job. The superintendent has done a great job. Our EPPD does a great job. They do active shooter drills in our schools every year. And I'm sure there's some things that we can learn from this past one that will be brought down. But again, my heart goes out to those suffering from last night or yesterday's tragedy. Progress.
Thank you.
Okay, my Board of Health report. We had a Board of Health meeting on February 12th. At the Board of Health meeting, they're going to have someone from the county. Her name is Debbie Yanko, and she is from Bergen County Animal Control, and they're going to discuss Elmwood Park's wildlife, such as coyote problems and foxes, and the town's TNR program. So that will happen on April 24th at 7 p.m. right here in the chambers. Also, we'll have our first rabies clinic of the year, and that will be May 16th at Firehouse Number 4 from 5 to 7 p.m. And their next meeting will be March 12th at 7 p.m. Okay, my police report. On Friday, February 9th, our police department participated in Career Day at the high school. Officers from our community policing unit answered many questions on becoming a police officer and what entails. The students were very excited to interact with our police officers, and it was a great day for them. Also, they assisted our high school students with a fundraiser to help purchase some new equipment for the weight room. So we want to thank the police for a great job. They're always interacting with our schools, and they do so much for our students, so thank them very much. And on the traffic end of the town, they installed four-way stop signs on Elm Street, going to all the intersections from Grove Street to Falmouth Ave. And this was obviously done to make it safer for pedestrians and motorists. They were having some difficulties there, so they felt that placing the four-way stops would help with accidents and different situations that had been occurring. And then on February 13th, we had our first quarterly safety meeting and department head meeting run by Keith Kasmar. It was very informative. I was very happy to be a part of it, along with Councilwoman Sandy Balstrieri. For the first time in years, we've had our superintendent of schools come, Anthony Greco. And I always feel that it's such a great thing. They always communicate on the phone, all the department heads and Mr. Greco. But I always feel that when you sit around a table as a group and as a team, and you share different ideas, so much more comes of that. So he will be attending these department head meetings when, as often as he could. So I just wanted to thank Keith for that and all the department heads, because I really believe sometimes it's an hour meeting, sometimes it's a little more, but we really learn from each other, and it takes us away from, our phones and the computers, and we really sit down eye to eye, and I think it was very good. That's it, progress.
Thank you.
Okay, as far as I'm the chair with the DPW. This week there was some discussion on social media about the recreation tree decorations not being down yet. The DPW has been prioritizing with working on numerous water main breaks and also doing daily road repairs. But they are down now, but again, this was a priority before the decorations. Also, with any potholes, please call the DPW and let them know where they are, because then they can contact the proper agencies, because the county, as far as River Road, Market Street, and Midland Ave, are county roads, so they can contact them to try to get these repairs done. As far as the recreation, on February 7th, I attended the coaches' appreciation dinner. This is held every year for the coaches, and, to thank them for volunteering for our children. Also, our next Recreation Advisory Board meeting will be Monday, February 26th at 7:30. Encourage everyone to attend. There was also discussion on social media about a petition to extend the recreation hours. This is something that we can just have a discussion with the full council, the Recreation Advisory Board, and of course the director. So we are aware of that. And also I want to mention the Easter egg hunt. That'll be Saturday, March 24th at 10 o'clock sharp. If we have heavy rain, it's just canceled. But, so keep this date saved. It's always a fun event for the children. Progress.
Thank you.
I'll have to echo Councilwoman Ballestier's remarks about attending the Coaches Appreciation. A big heartfelt thank you to all of our coaches in town. You take time away from your families to mentor our children, so thank you for that. Monday night, I met with our Ambulance Corps Chief, Pete Pottis, and we went over the operations of the Ambulance Corps and their shortfalls as in regards to equipment or stuff that they might need since the budget season is coming up. I did attend with many of my colleagues their installation dinner, and I just want to congratulate Pete Pius on becoming the chief, Iqbal Singh on the assistant chief, Dee Calandrillo as the treasurer, Lauren Pasucci as recording secretary, Lisa Palarevich, corresponding secretary, Aviana England captain, Patty Habshire, sergeant in arms, and I'm very sorry if I've mistaken the pronunciation of anybody's last names. Our chief did mention that currently they have about 13 active members, 7 probationary, which means they cannot go out on a call by themselves, and we have 4 drivers. Last year, they did about 1,639 calls, and that is great. We do have a volunteer. It's an all-volunteer ambulance corps, just like Joe mentioned about the fire department, and you don't realize all of the surrounding towns, it's only us in Saddlebrook that have a completely volunteer ambulance corps. Fairlawn has a paid one. I believe Maywood has a paid one. Garfield doesn't have one, which means that the hospital comes and people's insurance gets charged. If you don't have insurance, that's an out-of-pocket expense. And just like Joe mentioned, anytime you see them or whatever you could contribute, obviously, everybody's in a penny pinch and everybody has their finances, but these are people, and it's, quick math, 24 people for 20,000 residents that are there at our beck and calls and make it out there. And we've had CPR saved, so a huge thank you, and I'm so happy that our council collectively passed Resolution 80-18, which supports Assemblywoman Holly Shapizi's Bill A-1627 to clarify volunteer positions do not impact retirement benefits for our public employees. So as I've mentioned before, some of our DPW guys are also volunteer firefighters. So if they retire from our town, they cannot go right into volunteering, and we lose them for that 180 days if they choose to come back afterwards, because they could sacrifice parts of their pension, and they obviously can't do that because they have to live on that. So I know that it passed the Assembly and the Senate session last session, and this session it did pass the Assembly Law and Public Safety Committee, so I'm hoping that our legislators and leaders bring it up for a vote at their next session. And that's it. Mayor, thank you.
President?
Thank you, Mayor. As the liaison to the Board of Education, I will be attending their next meeting on February 27th at the Media Center in the high school. February 14th, I will be attending the JIF meeting as the council representative, as the Elmwood Park representative. JIF is the South Bergen Joint Insurance Fund that Elmwood Park participates in. Several weeks ago, the mayor and I attended a meeting at the county with County Executive Tedesco. I know the mayor's going to touch on some of that in his report, but I just wanted to give my impression that especially dealing with the county park, Artesian Fields County Park, when the county is ready to move on their county parks, when their plan is done, I at least got the feeling of such a willingness to work with us here in Elmwood Park, and they're very interested in the idea that the county park could connect somehow all the way to the river and the marina. So there's a lot to be optimistic about with the county, and they're willing to work with us and listen to us in Elmwood Park. So that's a positive. As the finance chair, I met with our CFO, Mr. Roy Rigatano, last week. Budget season is now upon us. For those in the audience, for those at home who don't have a full understanding or are curious about how the budget and your taxes work, when you receive your tax bill, that's the entire amount that you send to the borough, but it is actually split up into different areas. The school representing about 60% of your taxes, the municipality, the borough about 30%, and then the rest is the county and library scattered at a few percentages each. Each body, the council, the Board of Education, and the county have their own budget process. And they look at where they were last year and decide how much money they need to fund operations this year, and from that they decide if they're going to raise or lower your taxes. So for the town's end, the borough's budget, that's about 30%. The budget will probably be introduced at the March public meeting, the introduction of it. Between now and that point, the council will be holding budget hearings with all of the department heads here at Borough Hall, to have them come in and tell us where they were last year, where they would like to be next year, and to justify increases or just in general talk about the operations of their part of the budget. So this will happen in the next 2 weeks. The dates are not published yet, but the public will be allowed to attend and see us go through the budget and the hearings as we go through them. So there'll be more information on that at the March meeting. And with that, Mayor, progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Randazzo?
Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to start with the bad news we had yesterday from Florida. It's Parkland, Florida, and all this killing and wounding. And I tell you, something should be done. I think in America is the worst country that these things happen. You know, we said that we're supposed to bear arms to defend ourselves against whom. I think my opinion has always been the assault weapon should not be at the hands of anyone except soldiers and I guess police, certain case. Because remember that those automatic weapons, you pull the trigger, get about 40 to 60 bullets within a minute, and they're not meant to hunt, they're meant to kill. And my father was a hunter. I used to go hunting with him. The most you could shoot an automatic in New Jersey, 3 rounds. You know, so this is really sad, and I hope people will do something about this. America, please, let's wake up. It's happened more often. This disgrace for all of us. So let's do something about the weapons. I went to see the chief because of this, bothered me a lot, and I talked to him today to make sure our schools are protected and our police increase manpower, especially in the morning when the kids go to school, and also in the afternoon when they get out of school. During the day, please have more people. I understand some police stations set in place for maybe an hour or so. Make them move. Go around the schools a lot. So people say, if you see something, say, tell somebody. So please, everybody, something suspicious, call somebody. Okay, we want to be safe, all of us. So Councilman Goldbach and I met with Jim Tedesco, our county executive, and I tell you, sounds really good. He wants to work with us, and I hope what we have in mind to do, to maybe get more fields for sports and a lot of beautify this town. I have something else in mind, and I want until I'm sure that we are able to do something, I will bring it up again. I met with the governor 3 times in 1 week. It was, and Hackensack, then Teaneck, then Trenton, and 4 times. Just saw him at the gala. So really, I think it was around Hawthorne today, wasn't it? This guy, he moves around. Sounds great what he says. I hope, he'll be a good governor. And the only thing I asked him at the mayor's meeting, please help us out with the sound barriers along Route 80. We've been waiting for the longest time. And the answer I received from his staff, they are working on, and I hope that this will be real as soon as possible. I've been a very busy mayor. I'm always go places, meeting people. With yesterday's, I performed 9 weddings. And I always say, my mother sent me to a seminary when I was a kid to be a priest. And I think a dream came true at 72 years old. I feel like a priest when I marry people. It's exciting, kids. 4 of them were my ex-students. It was great. So some of them make some donations. But guys, I tell them, I don't take the money. Thank God, I don't need the money. My American dream. But the money that I receive, whatever they give me, goes to help homeless. Okay, so makes me feel good when I do that. All right, let me go to many residents. Now they ask me to reopen the boulevard in the summertime on a Sunday. If you guys remember, we used to cross the boulevard where family were able to take the kids, the stroller, the bicycle. It was really good. I have no idea why it stopped. I have no idea. So let's try to reopen again. I need your help, your vote, see what we can do. The other one is I received an email with, they have 108 signature. Talk about, I think, Ms. Basteri, she mentioned something about this, that people want the recreation. I don't know if I should read this. It's kind of long. But they say, Mayor Caramagna, we are requesting that Yamu Park Recreation Center change its hours to be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. The recreation center for years and years was always a place for the residents of the town to hang out and play games and use the gymnasium and weight room. Recently, the game room no longer has the allure of a game room. It does not attract the youth of the town, whereas in the past there were arcade games, air hockey, pool table that kids could use for a nomination fee. I still see pool table. We have a pool table there, don't we? No anymore?
No more.
I was going to give the one from the club. They didn't take it. Well, but we do have some of those soccer games.
There's,
I see them on the
yes.
side.
They're there.
So this is, in other words, what they want to do is they want to have open to the public, and they also are against the after-school, that we have the after-school, that we watch the kids. They also ask us to find wonders for schools to place them afterwards. And they want to be able to, we're going to talk about this, see what we can do to help the residents. In a way, they're right, then we have to find out. I think it's against the law if anyone goes in between 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. I understand. For now, it's against the law. Am I right?
Mayor, it's through you, excuse me, it's a condition of the state license that we receive from New Jersey that to allow outsiders into the recreation center while it's being used for those 3 hours for our aftercare program.
So for the moment, I guess they cannot use it, but let's work on this. I like to see people get really involved. We have a nice gym over there, a lot of machines we can use. I should be one of them to go there. The rest of I have a progress for now. Thank you. May I have a motion to open the floor for public comments?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Do we need a roll call?
All in favor?
All
Aye.
in favor? Aye. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to be heard? Anybody? Please? Excuse me, sir, where have you been?
He beat you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Kenneth Arabia, 34 Locust Street, Elmwood Park. Man, Councilman, we have big problems in town.
Councilwomen.
Councilwomen
There you
too,
go.
thank
Okay.
you, sorry. Just want to tell you, we have bigger problems than you don't know about. As today, I found something on the ground. I was really shocked and I saw it. And I said, this is not good. And it's a bullet I saw on the ground in Elmwood Park.
A bullet?
A bullet.
A bullet?
Yep. A 12-gauge shotgun bullet it was, I found. I gave to Bob Colon, my boss, and I gave it to him. And I wanted him to do something for it because it's not right, because it's not safe. Because what did it do, so it was by the trucks area. I don't know if maybe somebody got shot on the weekend, because that's what I found on like Monday morning. I found it in town.
Mr. Arabia, if I may, next time you find anything like that,
Yeah,
don't pick it up.
yeah.
Call
I know.
911 and ask the police to come down.
Yeah,
Why? Because one, you don't know if it's a spent shell or not,
right.
okay? And secondly, it could be something from a crime scene that the police have to look at. So please, next time,
Yeah.
don't pick it up, just call
Yeah.
911 and the police will respond.
I know, but I just want to tell you that about it. And anything, please, there's a big problem about the Locust Street corner on Mulberry, on River Road, coming towards Route 80. There's a crawl space, what do you call it, this thing that...
The sewer?
A sewer pipe, sewer thing, a catch space, that's what it was.
Okay.
A catch space that opened up, when the trucks came over, it moved it on the half of the road. And it's like leaning like same on one side of the roof and out.
Right. Well, I'm sure Mr. Kazmark will let the DPW know.
No, because they tried to fix it once and it came back out again.
Okay.
Because the trucks keep going over that spot. Because it's that corner is very tight and they have to turn because they're going 80.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I just had to tell you that. And there's one more thing about, she said something about it, and sure enough, I did see another fox.
Okay.
And I seen him right near me, and it was very close to me, and it was very scary, because I walk down Sawyer Drive every day, and that's where the foxes love to be there. And they are there all the time. But if you ever go see them, they're down there every night, every day. Yes.
Come to that meeting on April 24th.
Yeah,
They're going to be here from the county.
Yeah.
And they're going to answer all questions. They're going to give a presentation, and then you can ask them any question that you'd like.
because they tell you one thing, they don't scare me. I mean, they go right near me all the time. Because I'm on this side road, and he was crossing the road right on the same side I was on. And the car stopped and they say, you know you got a fox near you? I know. I said, I'm getting scared. I got to run. I was going to get out of here, but he was just saying, it's scary because it's, a fox.
There's quite a few of them.
But you know one
5 or
thing?
6.
You have to tell the DPW to stop feeding them, because that's what they're doing. They're going to feed them.
Well, come on the 24th, and they'll give us a lot of good information on what we should do and what we shouldn't do.
So see, I want to tell you something. One day, not this year, but last year, I see them feeding the animals. They throw bread outside in the DPW area. And I know that's the way they feed the animals. I seen that. And I worked on Saturdays, and that's when they do it. And that's how I know about it.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
But it is one thing that
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Is anyone else, please? Please state your name and address.
James Seymour, Hillsdale, 210 Paul Court. Before I begin, I just wanted to mention about the coyotes. Even in Hillsdale, there's a lot of them. And growing up as a kid, they never used to be there, but now they're all over. I'm even afraid to let my dog out. It's crazy. But the reason I'm here tonight is on behalf of the International We Love You Foundation. It's a nonprofit disaster and humanitarian relief organization. And it started in 2001, now has presence in over 50 countries around the world, and about 150,000 registered members. And the most important ingredient of the foundation, what drives all the members, is a mother's love. This is the most important ingredient and powerful ingredient. And a mother's love, you can't really argue it. It unites us, and beyond the borders of race, nationality, socioeconomic position, religious background. Mother's love is so comforting. And that's what we really stress in our organization. That's the focal point of our foundation. And really I'm here tonight is just to give you a brief overview to see if Elmwood Park could benefit from any of our initiatives and services. We're really just here to help you. We don't want to just help our local community, but help the surrounding towns around us, because we're worldwide. So our initiatives include blood drives, our Clean World movement, social welfare, disaster relief, and we have our very own play called Then, Now, and Forever, which once again emphasizes the love of a mother. So I really just wanted to ask all of you who I could be pointed out to, who I could go to, like some direction, who to talk to in the town to see if we could set up a cleanup for Elmwood Park.
Casper.
Through you, Mayor, I'll give you my card before you
Okay.
leave tonight, and I can either meet with you, or I can also hook you up with the mayor's secretary, who handles recycling and the town cleanup day and that type of thing.
Okay,
but
great.
love to have further dialogue with you.
Okay, great. So I'll wait for the close of the meeting.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive. Just one thing I'd like to ask a question on. Regarding Resolution R80-18, I read through it, I may have missed it or whatever. Now, volunteer firemen, the name volunteer firemen, but they are paid, as was noted in the payments, the quarterly payments. Now, are they part of this resolution to come back against this retirement interpretation that the IRS seems to have rendered regarding the retirement plan? In other words, are those people who are currently volunteer firemen who are paid, are they considered volunteers? Do they? And should they have not been included in this?
The short answer is the way that the current bill was passed in the last legislative session, yet conditionally vetoed by then Governor Christie. It was silent on firefighters who receive stipends. It clearly would not be applicable to fire departments who are paid with health benefits similar to a Patterson or a Clifton or that type of, right. So there is some clarity that we're going to need to be given if this bill does in fact pass from the state as to how to treat stipend employees. They're considered employees even prior to the stipend though, Jeff, because they receive a clothing allowance.
Right.
So even before we initiated the stipend program in 2016, they were considered employees of the borough because their clothing allowance was run through payroll. So they were paying taxes on that. Those employees would be exempt under the old conditions. They would be exempt if this bill were to be passed. But this is a serious issue. In my town, we have a retired fire chief his full-time job was the superintendent of building and grounds for the school district, which is a PERS pension. Okay, it's not the teacher's pension, it's a PERS.
Yeah, not TPA.
And he separated, he retired, and retired from a part-time position he had, but was never properly notified or notified in any way that he needed to separate from the fire department. Because if you think about it, you're volunteering. So why would you even think about having to separate? Which is what Assemblywoman Shapezi and quite frankly the entire legislature, because I think it passed unanimously in the prior session, is trying to achieve, that you shouldn't have to stop your volunteer service when we're trying to recruit people and incentivize people to respond to fires because you've decided to retire from your full-time employment.
Okay.
Did that clarify it?
No.
But I don't have an answer for you on your initial question.
Now, what was originally budgeted? I know they had LoSAP before, and they went over from LoSAP now to the new,
We budgeted $60,000.
so that you're up to about 75 or so now?
Right, so we probably had to do a transfer of somewhere between 15 and 20,000. But keep in mind, as former Mayor Coletti pointed out to me when we were looking at this last year, it would be a success if we had to budget money into the stipend program, because then we were attracting the firefighters that we were looking to try to attract.
Had the numbers gone up?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that considered pensionable?
No,
Okay, because it is,
because it's a stipend.
okay.
They're still categorized, or classified, I should say, under the state of New Jersey as volunteers.
Okay,
Still a
so,
volunteer department.
so therefore then, by the nature of it being a stipend, I would assume that they're being paid, and that would in some way maybe affect them here.
But I think there's still, I think in the eyes of the state, and I can't speak for the state because this bill hasn't passed, so we don't have guidance on implementation yet, right? We're sort of talking in hypotheticals here, that the state's going to have to establish a line of delineation between a paid employee who is full-time, receives health benefits and the like, to somebody who is getting an incentive, a stipend as part of an incentive program to attract more people to respond to fire calls.
Do you ever know anybody that's been affected by this?
By
By this ruling?
the person I just
He is.
indicated to you. Yeah, and it's happening all over the state.
Now, if a person, say a school board member, unpaid, cannot be paid because statute, they can't be paid,
Right.
are they considered a volunteer? Could be, even if, collecting a pension.
Yeah, well, no, I think the issue here is a volunteer.
Because they're mentioning PTAs, and I don't even know what that's got to do with anything.
I don't know the answer to that, actually.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else wants to come up here, please? Anyone else? Okay, I guess.
You're welcome.
If no one else wishes to be heard, may I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Hold on. Hold on. Remember, this meeting has been videotaped. It will be on Cablevision Channel 77 on Tuesdays, 12 p.m., Thursdays, 9 a.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. The video is also on the files in the same time slot. The video is also available on the Borough website at www.moparknj.us. Memorize this thing.
You say it without that.
Good night, everyone.